vigilance, the action or state of keeping careful watch, standing guard, defending the bulwark between the righteous and the godless.
This is going to be short today, but I want to talk about those people out there, those unique few, or maybe many, I don't know what the percentage is, but those who have that special kind of stupid. The kind of stupid that makes people, thinking people, intelligent people, rational and reasonable people shake their heads and say, my God, where did this man come from? Case in point, Gerald Harbell, Harbel. Anyway, Gerald Harbell from, where is he from? Gerald Harbell from Caldwell, Idaho. He sent me something on Facebook today. You see, in a recent webcast, I spoke of Donald Trump and his desire to bring back stop and frisk. Now, stop and frisk is based on the Supreme Court decision, Terry versus Ohio. It is utterly unconstitutional. The Fourth Amendment says that we have a right to be secure in our persons, properties, papers, etc. But Terry versus Ohio says that police have the right to stop any suspect and frisk him even when there is no probable cause that a crime has or was or is being committed. No, on its face, it's ridiculous. How can a person be a suspect if there's no probable cause? Terry versus Ohio, that decision is unconstitutional. Donald Trump wants to bring that back, and Trump has that special kind of stupid, as does Gerald. So, here's what Gerald said to me. Your position on search and seizure. As you are well aware, criminals and Muslims have used our laws against us. Do you have a solution as to the gangs that are plaguing our cities? If they look like a gang member, talk like a gang member, smell like a gang member, and run with a gang member, they probably are a gang member. Why do cops have to wait for someone to be murdered, robbed, or raped before they can act? Criminals consistently use our laws against us, just like the Muslims use our laws against us. It is their, quote, religion, when we all know that Islam is 10% religion and the other 90% is totalitarian dictatorship. So he actually asked two questions there. First was, what about people in our inner cities, gangs that are causing some problems? And we have problems, but we don't solve lawlessness by embracing lawlessness. And so first, I would like to answer his question regarding gang members, and especially his characterization of them. He says that if you walk, talk, even if you smell like a gang, what does a gang member smell like? Does anybody know? This is idiocy. This is that special, unique kind of stupid. But he said if you walk, talk, even smell like a gang member, the police should have a right to strip you of your constitutional rights, of your human rights, of your natural rights. I say no, and here's the answer that I wrote to him. Gerald, sure I have an answer. We call it due process and natural rights. We call it the Constitution. We call it the Bill of Rights. We call it freedom and liberty. We call it justice. There was a time in our nation when all blacks looked like slaves. Was it right to treat them as such? There was a time in our nation when all Native Americans looked like heathens. Was it right to treat them as such? There was a time when all Japanese Americans looked like traitors. Was it right to treat them as such? Now to your point. When the blacks were enslaved, when the Indians were driven from their native lands and locked away on reservations, when the Japanese people were interned, white America was safer. There was less black crime, less Indian crime, less Japanese crime. Does that make it a good thing? Gerald, does that make it a good thing? From the perspective of the slaves and the Indians and the Japanese, crime increased sharply, and they were right. During those times when the government stepped up and violated their natural, God-given rights for the safety of the masses, crime increased 100-fold. And it wasn't your street criminal that was doing it. It was government. The kind of government that those people that have a special kind of Gerald-like stupid want to force down our throats. You see, Gerald, there is due process, and it has to apply to all of us. So to answer your question, yes. Yes, Gerald, we have to wait until a crime has been committed before we can treat any American as a criminal, even when they smell bad, Gerald. Even when they smell bad.
Freedom is not free, but I can help. I offer a set of fundraisers that include advanced firearms training, defensive law seminars, constitution workshops with a focus on the local solution. Now, why the local solution? It's simple. Government of, for, and by the people must always be close to the people. Hey, give me a call, 208-317-9843. Let's talk freedom.
Now, Gerald, the Muslim problem is easily resolved. It is so easily resolved. But I'm sure that the solution eludes you. I'm sure that you can't begin to grasp it because your question just smacks of constitutional stupidity. You see, Gerald, the Constitution of the United States grants the federal government power over naturalization. Now, naturalization and immigration are not the same thing. Naturalization is the process where someone who comes here to America legally begins to transform themselves from a legal alien, not an illegal alien, but a legal alien, to a citizen of the United States. The federal government has the right to decide what that process is. But the federal government has no authority, not a speck of authority over immigration. They're bringing them in, they're trucking them in, they're hauling them in, and they're dumping them on us. Now, Gerald, I asked this very question in Twin Falls of the city council, and they turned a deaf ear. I asked this very question of the chief of police, and instead of answering the question, two of his uniformed officers walked into the lobby of the police department and violated my rights in the same way that you want Trump to violate the rights of other people. I'm not going to stand for it. So anyway, Gerald, why aren't you standing against this illegal immigration? Why are you not standing against this unconstitutional refugee resettlement program? Where are you on this? Why are you silent? Why are you... Oh, yeah. That special kind of stupid again. But anyway, Gerald, back to my point. Since the federal government has no authority constitutionally over immigration, the people need to stand up. We need to pressure our legislators, our governor, to nullify any immigration bills or programs in the state of Idaho. We simply say no because we have the right to. Because we have the right to. So anyway, folks, if you look at programs like Stop and Frisk and other things, and you say, well, it's okay if they do that to people who smell wrong or look wrong or talk wrong, as long as they don't do it to me, I'm okay. If you are one of these, you possess that special kind of stupid. I'm Lance Earl. I'll see you soon.